Hi there, I'm Chef Celeste, and welcome to my Louisiana kitchen, where I'll take you all around Louisiana through food. On today's episode, we're talking about sausage, okra, and tomato stew, and we're going to bring in some sticky, spicy, delicious chicken to go along with that. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Our ingredients for our sausage stew is celery. I have some green onion and some fresh parsley. I have onion, tomatoes. I have some sausage from Contreras Meat down at the farmer's market. And remember, we've already talked about you meeting your local butcher and just finding out the goodness that they have to offer for you. Then we have some tomato paste. I have paprika, garlic. I have fresh garlic also. We have pepper, salt, some cayenne pepper, and of course the star of the show, we have my whole okra. When okra is in season, I want you to go and buy fresh okra from your farmer's market. And of course we're going to use my seasoning blends here, Chef Celeste seasonings and senior seasonings, and it's with we're going to use the cracked black pepper today. So, and we also have some flour to go along with that because we need to make our thickening agent. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I have my pan on medium high. I'm going to add a little bit of oil in here. I'm not going to put it all in at one time. So this is about a quarter cup I'm going to put in here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my celery. So let me move the okra out of the way. I'm going to cut the celery. Look, take the ribs. They're already cleaned. And we're going to cut them in half. Okay? So just turn them over. Do a strip down here, just like that. And just cut them into medium-sized chunks. I don't want it too small because I want that nice bite when you go to eat it. So, and remember, the size that you cut things into, that makes a difference as far as the texture that you're going to have. So you hear that sizzle on that? So now we're going to take half an onion, and it's going to be medium dice. So go all the way down, and just go halfway in like that. Look at that. Just slice it down. One more time. And it's ready to go in the pot also. But these are medium chunks. If you want it larger, make it larger, however you want it. The end result is going to be tons of deliciousness. Now I want the okra to go in now, because we have to cut off the what I like to call the slime. So you get that in and just stir. And just let this go for a little bit. I don't have anything in here right now except my vegetables. No seasoning, nothing. Because if I put the garlic and a lot of the seasoning in right now at this stage, it can have a tendency to burn, because right now I need to caramelize the onions, my okra, all that good stuff. So just let this go for a little bit. You're gonna hear that sizzle. Just go in every now and again and stir. I'm gonna take my other vegetables. I'm going to call this my bouquet, because this has my celery in here, not my celery, but it has my green onion and my parsley. So just let that sit right there. It doesn't need to go in yet. Sausage. We're going to take 2 pieces of the sausage. We're going to keep it cut it in rounds. You can cut it smaller if you like, but I like the rounds. So we're going to do that. Just like this here, and I'm going to set it off to the side. I don't want it in yet either. So right now it's just prep. And sometimes I like to prep as I'm talking to you, so you can see how quick and easy some of these dishes are to prepare. But you don't have to take all day and spend in the kitchen. I don't even spend all day in the kitchen. So just enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the process. So there we have it. I think that's enough sausage for one meal. We're going to save the other for something else, because we're going to come back with some surprises for you. So I got that stirring. Looking pretty good. Smelling pretty good in here without even any of the extra seasonings in here. So now I want my tomatoes. We're going to take 1. These have already been cleaned. 2. I'm going to use 3 tomatoes because I want those to cook down and I want it nice and kind of chunky, tomatoey. You want to get that sauce out of there. So, cut it in half. And I'm going to leave the tomatoes in wedges. Why, you say? That's what I want. You know how I am when it comes to cooking. Some things you have to keep yourself amused. So if you want to see your food a certain way, then just do it. As long as the flavor is there, the integrity is there, why not play in the kitchen? But look at that. That's a nice, pretty tomato. So, and I love when we're at the farmer's market and they're in season. We have the heirloom tomatoes, different times of the year. This past Saturday, I saw some wonderful heirloom grape tomatoes. Some were purple, some were a deep red, yellow. So when you can find some like that, pick up some. And what I want you to do is take them home and try them raw. And notice the different flavor that each color is going to bring to you. And you can make like a nice tomato salad, anything like that. So enjoy it. It's summertime. Enjoy the fresh bounty that your garden or the farmer's market may have to offer for you. So now we have some heat. We're starting to get a little translucent in here. I'm going to add my sausage in here because what's going to happen, some of the sugars from the sausage is going to help to caramelize my okra and get all of that some extra color. So that's going in next. And what are we doing? Building layers of flavor. That's what I like to do. That's what I want you to do. All right, so we'll let that sit for a minute. And while this is sitting, I think it's story time. So, what story am I going to tell you right now? I think we're going to talk about the time that I made some spaghetti. And I'm telling you this here so you'll know everything is not going to turn out perfect all the time. But just go with the flow. So, it was ground beef, regular tomato sauce, all that stuff. But I was a little heavy-handed on the pepper. So we're eating this spaghetti and it's good, but we're all just, you know, it's opening up the sinuses and everything. And they're like, Chef, did you put enough, this was for family and friends. And they're like, did you put enough pepper in there? And, you know, ego, it's like, yeah, it's good, huh? I'm just hot inside while we're eating this stuff. And everybody is, you know, you have your drinks and all of that. Your water is better or milk because when it's really, really hot, you don't want a soft drink. But I never forgot that one. We all just kind of rolled with the punches of that day and ate our extremely spicy spaghetti. If you make a mistake like that, a tip is if you don't want to waste the whole batch, break it into smaller batches, and then you can make some plain spaghetti, mix it together, adjust your seasonings from there. Because two things that you can't really change a whole lot of if you don't adjust your batches, that's salt and pepper. Pepper is easier to forgive than adding too much salt. But yeah, remember that tip. If you add too much of those, just make another bland batch and then offset your flavors from there. So, look in this pot. It is coming along. I'm going to get everything else added in here. So let's add the tomatoes in here now. And let that start to cook. They don't want to go in, but they're going. Okay, let's get this in. Let's get my aromatics in. I just love this color. Now, during the summertime, you could take the same dish and use salami and fresh red okra and cut this up and turn it into a cold salad. No heat required. The purple okra, it lends to a easier flavor profile in a salad. So you can actually eat that cold. You can smoke it also. Really good. Okay, look at that. Now, we're gonna add some tomato paste. Look at this. This is a heaping tablespoon, teaspoon, all of it in. I don't want any more than that because I don't want it bitter, because I'm gonna work this without adding any extra sugar. I'm gonna let the sugar come from the sausage and the tomatoes. So get that incorporated in. And for me, it's easier to add my tomato paste like this here because I can get it all mixed in, as opposed to putting it in water or the broth or anything like that. So now that that is in, I'm gonna add 4 fingers of flour. Now this is the key to not having it lumpy. Watch what I'm gonna do. Just sprinkle that on there. Now, stir it in, let it coat everything. Then when you add your liquid, you will not have lumps. If you just let it sit, you're gonna have lumps. Okay? Now we have that in. I'm gonna add my liquid, 2 cups of liquid in. All right, we're gonna add some Tabasco. I want somebody to tell me how many I'm putting in here. So, you know, Chef Celeste on Facebook, at Chef Celeste Gill on Instagram. All right, hope you're counting with me because I'm not gonna tell you how much I just put in there. You tell me. Now, spices. Paprika. I'm using 3 fingers on that. I'm gonna use 3 go-rounds of garlic, 1, and a pinch pepper. Remember, we just talked about the heat. 1 pinch salt. I'm not trying to go too salty. Onion powder to enhance the onion. 2. Cayenne, 1. And then when it gets close, if you want more, you add some more, okay? And then I'm gonna finish that off with some of my steak seasoning. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of steak seasoning in there, and we're just gonna let this simmer. It's gonna take about a good half an hour for the okra to simmer on here, and we'll be right back. We're gonna start working on some chicken, okay? So folks, we're gonna start on this blueberry pepper jelly chicken. It's gonna be really nice and sticky and sweet and all that goodness all rolled into one. So the pepper jelly was a gift, so thank you, Mrs. Cadby, for that. I appreciate it. And you all should check out some of her items also. So first thing, I have my pan heating up. It's on medium. You know, I like medium to get started with. So we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil in there. I also have the pepper jelly in here. I've warmed that up already, and it's just loosened it up, and you'll see what we're going to do in that process. So I have my chicken in here. We've made a blend with some chives, some of my seasoning, some cayenne pepper, some peppercorns, some a little bit of curry is going in here, curry powder. So you see how I'm going to coat that heavily for a second. Then I'm going to add a little more of the olive oil right in here. Just finish that off. And then I'm gonna take my tongs, because you know I'm not gonna take my hands, and I'm just gonna kind of mix this all in. If you don't mind doing this with your hands, then do it with your hands. It's okay. It's okay. It's me, it's not the chicken. So I just want this nicely coated. And then when I'm gonna add some more to get all of my seasoning on here. And you notice one thing you do not do with any poultry and any meat or anything like that. See, if you're gonna use the seasoning over again and you're not gonna use it all at one time, do not double dip in here. That way you won't add any contaminants into your meat. You can actually do this and marinate it overnight, but look at this here. Look how pretty that is and how coated it is. Now, we're gonna add this to the skillet. You hear that? This is actually going to go in the oven also. So I just want to get a little bit of color on here first. So that's what we're going to do. Drop this in the sink. And just let it sit for a minute on each side. We're just going to coat each side. Once you start to get that little sizzle, you can turn it down a little bit if you want, but don't go past medium. The spices are going to come on out, and you're going to know they're in here. So it's going to open your sinuses up. That's okay. Some of us may need that. So let that go. Now you don't want it completely brown on all sides because we're going in the oven, remember? So just give it a quick little turn. You see how it's starting to get a little bit of color to it? That's what I want right there. Right there. Looking good. I'm going to let this rest right here. And there's really nothing else I'm going to add in here yet. So let's move over to our pepper jelly. So on the pepper jelly, I want to take that and put that on medium. And you see how you have those nice little flakes of blueberry in there. That's fine. That's what I'm looking for. But in there, I'm going to take some more of my seasoning. You can take your hands with this now and add that in there, because I want to make sure we have all of that goodness loaded in here, and just let it heat. And what we're going to do, we're going to put the chicken in the oven when it's brown, lightly brown on each side. Once it's done, we're going to pull it out, we're going to toss it, and then we're going to eat, okay? So we'll be right back. All right, so we are looking good over here. Chicken is out of the oven. I have my sauce that we're about to put on here. I just cranked that up on high. You're going to see why in a minute. Look at all that goodness going on there. I want to get every drop. Yes. This kind of takes me back to my days when I was cooking in Hawaii. You know, I like that sweet, savory type food going on. All right, now let me turn that off. That's ready. And I can put this back in the oven, but I don't want to wait. And I don't want to make you wait. I want to put it in this bowl right here. Look at that. Put my legs up. Everybody can grab one as they come along. We're going to do this family style. Right here. Now, look at that. Watch what I'm about to do. Take my pan, because all the juices are in the pan. The goodness is down here. You don't want to lose that. So watch this pour. Get it all on your chicken. I don't know about you, but I think this looks amazing. So, get this here. The way I like to finish this one off, a little bit of green onion. I cut mine all the way down to where there's nothing left. And then you can actually plant the bottoms and they'll regenerate. Look at this here. Just kind of sprinkle that on top. Doesn't that look good? Okay, that's gonna go with the okra and tomatoes and sausage. Let me put that there. I've learned, don't tempt fate with the heat. I'm not gonna burn myself. Switch this over. I have my rice already pre-cooked. I'm gonna get a nice ladle of the okra and sausage stew. And again, this is family style, so you want to put a good bit of it in here. And you're just going to pass it around the table. What better way? You know, we need to get back to sitting around the table, having conversations, just passing the meal. You know, the way that I grew up doing that. Love that. This is a nice, rich color. And this is just going to warm your bellies and hopefully warm your hearts. So remember, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and it's under Chef Celeste or Chef Celeste Gill. And I thank you for staying with me on this episode of My Louisiana Kitchen. Eat healthy, eat something delicious. I'll see you next time.